Are you ready for some hot racing? First, it's down to San Diego for the kickoff at Jack Murphy Stadium. Then we go up to Anaheim. Super highlights, a sellout crowd is going nuts. The best superstars of Supercross are there.
Tonight, it's a season opener at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. This is stadium motocross racing. It's called Supercross, quite possibly the biggest spectator attraction in American motorcycle racing. It's an NFL football field transformed into a Supercross track for the experts in the sport of motocross. In order to make the main event, the riders have to qualify. In heat number 1, it was a great battle between Alan King and Jim Hawley, but Scooter Stafford, number 58 on his Yamaha, got the coveted hole shot. Watch this. It was short-lived, though. Alan King and Jim Hawley moved up to pass Scooter Stafford in the whoops. Jim Hollywood Hawley from Northridge, California, on his Yamaha, and Alan King, the 25-year-old from Troy, Michigan, on his Kawasaki, moved in to battle for first and second position. Now watch, the number 10 green Kawasaki of Alan King battling for first place, trying to overtake Jim Hollywood Hawley through the whoops. Hollywood Hawley, also known as the Hazard.
Hey. This says Hollywood, but everybody knows you as Hazard.
That's true. A friend of mine, Drew Lean from 100%, he likes to watch the Dukes of Hazzard, and he thought I kind of looked like John Snyder for some reason, and he goes, hey, we're going to call you Hazard. And I go, well, I don't know if the guys will like that, because maybe they'll think I'm causing a hazard on track, and so that's how I got the nickname.
Back to the final turns in heat number 1. Alan King outbreaks Jim Hawley, but Hawley comes out ahead. King now is going to try the inside. Watch this move. And now over the jumps, they touch in midair, and Hawley goes down. Hollywood Hawley's down. Last place gets the white flag. Checkered flag for Alan King, first place in heat number 1. And there you have A.J. Whiting, second place, Scooter Stafford, third. Jim Hollywood Hawley ends up 6th place. Heat number 2 was a great ride for Scott Burnworth, number 39 on the Suzuki. Watch this kid. Only a lad, they call him, 20 years old, 5'9", 155 pounds of dynamite. And at this point, the number 80 Honda of Mike Fisher is in second. Third place, the number 9 Kawasaki of Mark Barnett. Lolly, Alabama, 25-year-old veteran, a former Supercross champion in '81. But watch Scott Burnworth land on this hay bale and maintains his balance and keeps the throttle turned on all the way. 15 pro riders in this heat number 2, and only first, second, and third are going to advance right up to the main. And this man looks like a sure thing, number 39, Scott Burnworth. And moving into second place, Mark Barnett on the Kawasaki through the sand. But it was Burnworth with the checkered flag and the victory. Barnett coming in second. Goat Brecker in third, JoJo Keller fourth, and Mickey Diamond with a 5th place finish in heat number 2. It was Rick Johnson, Brock Glover, and Ron Lachine, all three from El Cajon, California, right outside San Diego, racing all out. The hometown favorites put on a great show. Glover trying to reel in Ron Lachine. And coming on strong, Ricky Johnson on the number 5 Yamaha. Here, Ron Lachine on the Honda, really being pressured by Brock Glover. One mistake, just one mistake by Ron Lachine, and all of a sudden the lead changes. Team Yamaha, Brock Glover out in first now, Rick Johnson second, and Ricky Johnson told us how important the start is.
Okay, let's go through the start sequence here. Okay, everything's set, all your equipment's set. You're revving your engine. Are you at full throttle, half throttle?
Well, everyone does it different. A lot of riders hold it wide open, so there's plenty of power to the tire when they drop the clutch. I don't like to do that. I think it either makes the tire spin or grab too much to make you loop out. I like to hold it at about half throttle and roll the clutch on and roll the clutch out at the same time, so you get a real positive, real progressive feeling to the rear tire.
You know, it's so important. You want all that weight on the rear tire, but at the same time, you don't want to loft the front up. So are you shifting your weight as you're taking off, shifting gears, picking up speed?
Yeah, what I do is I plant my butt right towards the front of as far front on the seat as possible, lean way over the handlebars, and as soon as I cross the gate to get traction, instead of moving my butt back, I'll lean my shoulders back to keep the weight even, so I'll get some weight over the back, but I got the mass of my legs and my lower body over the front of the bike.
Are you guys touching, bumping? Is it roller derby out there at the start?
Oh, definitely. The start's in real. If they ever put it in slow-mo and got in real close with the camera, you'd see a lot of bumping and pushing, and it's every man for himself.
Well, if you don't get a good start, you got to ride like Ricky Johnson. Here, RJ does his thing. In heat number 3, goes on for a victory, moving his way through the pack, passing the likes of Brock Glover and Ron Lachine on to a victory. Watch this, flying W. Ricky Johnson, RJ, also known as Flash, coming in first place. Brock Glover, teammate, second. Ron Lachine on a Honda, third, followed by Jeff Hicks and Eric Kehoe. In heat number 4, 2 green machines out first. Great hole shot for Rick Ryan and Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward to the inside. Rick Ryan doesn't make the turn. It's Jeff Ward out in front, 5'6", 140 pounds, from Mission Viejo, California, Team Kawasaki, known as the Flying Freckle. Jeff with the number 2 plate. He wants the number 1 plate. Right behind him, 2 number 1 plates. The number 1 blue plate. That's David Bailey from Axton, Virginia, 6'2", 160 pounds, known as the Little Professor on Team Yamaha. He is the Grand National Champion. The number 1 white plate, that's Johnny O'Mara, the O Show from Simi Valley, California. Johnny O is the defending Supercross champion, and he is right on his teammate David Bailey's rear tire. At this point, Jeff Ward had a good lead, but the battle was for second, third, and fourth. Second place, Johnny O'Mara, white plate number 1. Keith Bowen, number 14 on the Yamaha, moved into third place, and David Bailey fourth. Watch closely, that is the battle back there. Jeff Ward just trying to maintain his composure, throws off his tearaway. And there's David Bailey, and here comes Bailey. Now Bailey moves fourth up to second place, O'Mara behind him, and Keith Bowen now in fourth place. A great battle for second and third. First, second, and third transfer directly to the main event. Fourth place, you've got to go to the semis. And that is the battle, second and third. The 2 Honda teammates are hanging in there, but there's a guy by the name of Keith Bowen that wants third place. The 2 highlights in heat number 4, well, Jeff Ward's consistent riding on the number 2 plate. But look to the inside, the number 14 plate. Keith Bowen jumps into third place. A great finish for him ahead of David Bailey. There's Wardy, Jeff Ward, number 2, crossing the finish line. He advances to the main, along with Johnny O'Mara and Keith Bowen. Meanwhile, David Bailey and Bob Hanna have to ride the semi. We are ready now for Moto Video highlights of the 125cc Coca-Cola main event. This is Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. 20 of the best 125cc riders, 10 laps, a piping hot class, and the gate drops. And it's Team Green, the Kawasaki rider Tyson Volan, number 8, out first. And a couple of riders try to enter the cheap seats. That's Tyson Volan, number 8 on the Kawasaki, followed by Todd Campbell, also on a Kawasaki, number 415. And Bader Manet, 17-8, also on a Kawasaki. Team Green leading this race in the 125cc class. It looks like it's going to be a runaway for Tyson Volan, barring no mistakes. A tough course. And through the whoops, Tyson maintaining his lead. Todd Campbell followed by Bader Manet. At this point in the race, it looked like it was Tyson Volan all the way from start to finish. But Todd Campbell had different ideas. Watch Todd now. He's starting to make his move. Todd Campbell, 415 on the Kawasaki. Gains lots of ground there, outbreaks him through the whoops. Behind him in third place, Bader Manet. A humbling experience as he gets washboarded around. Tyson Volan, number 8 on the Kawasaki, followed by Todd Campbell. Now Todd's going to make his move. With just a couple laps left, Todd Campbell, 415, makes his move on Tyson Volan. Campbell now trying to figure out how to pass Volan. First of all, you late brake, then you come out strong and you pick a different line. And through the whoops he does that, takes the inside line and takes over the lead. Todd Campbell now with the lead. And all concentration is broken up. Tyson Volan now is going to exit off the back of his motorcycle. Watch this. And he goes down, taking over a solid command of the lead. Number 415, Todd Campbell. Tyson Volan remounts quickly and gets his engine started. And he comes up with the second place. First place, 415 on the Kawasaki, Todd Campbell with a big upset victory here. Third place was Chad Parker on a Kawasaki. Bobby Moore on a Yamaha, fourth place. Brian Manley on a Honda was fifth. In the Skoll 250cc semifinal number 1, fifth place was Glenn Bell, fourth place was Billy Lyles. They go to the consolation round. The top 3 riders go into the main event. First place, Clint Hardick on a Honda, Mark Murphy on a Yamaha second, and Russ Wageman on a Suzuki placing third. In the Toyota 250cc semi-final, Terry Fowler and Ross Pedersen, fourth and fifth, go to the consolation round. Making it into the main event, Jeff Frizz, Eric Eaton, and number one, the Grand National Champion from Team Honda, David Bailey. We'll be right back with Moto Video action right after this. Let's look back into the Moto Video time machine. Back to the 1980 San Diego Supercross with Ted Otto calling the action.
Mike Bell still in control of this race as he runs over the rough part of the race course, taking two at a time. Waiting for the pit board this time to tell him how far back Chuck Sun is, and it's not very far. One more time through his favorite tight turn into the slot. A right turn over the ripple strip, over the start-finish line one more time. Looking for a white flag, which means one lap to go. A welcome sight that will be. He's been racing as hard as they can go, as fast as their bikes are allowed to go inside the rough part of the race course. There's our leader, Chuck Sun, on bike 63. He bobbled. He's killed the engine. Chuck Sun is off the bike, one kick, and it restarts immediately, but Chuck Sun has lost valuable ground. He was passed by three riders when his bike bobbled. It may have put Sun out of contention. There's not much time for him to catch up, and Mike Bell does not know it. Mike Bell will not know it until he gets back by the starting gates and he gets a signal from his pit crew. Chuck Sun has not given up. He's still back in the pack. He's trying to work his way back up into contention, but his bobble and putting the bike out of gear, killing the engine, has cost him valuable, valuable time. The white flag. There's only one lap left to go. Mike Bell knows if he does not make a mistake, he has won one more event, the final of the year. His last time down the short chute, over the ripple strips, headed for the very, very tight hairpin. Mike Bell, nicknamed Too Tall, 6'3" for Team Yamaha, down the fastest part of the race course, down to the closed end of the stadium, around the sweeping turn, over the Himalayas, headed for the sand pit. Other bikes are taking the white flag as they are still starting the last lap. Mike Bell is halfway through that lap. Now he's in the sand pit, headed for his very favorite turn, and there's no one there to challenge. One more very hard hairpin, a short right turn, and Michael Too Tall Bell will put away another event. The checkered flag is up, and it's bike number 3. Team Yamaha's Mike Bell wins another stadium event. The bombs are bursting high in the sky. Bell is saluting the crowd. He knows full well what he has done.
We are ready now for main moto number 2. In main moto number 1, Jeff Ward placed 6th. He's got nothing to lose. Ron Lachine, he placed 19th. He's going to go all out, nothing to lose there. It's going to be a race between Johnny O'Mara and Brock Glover. O'Mara placed 2nd, Glover 1st. Now for the final moto, the final showdown. Less than 30 seconds. Take a look at number 5, Ricky Johnson, to the right of the Diet Coke start line. He got 5th in the first moto, and he does not get the whole shot. He is lost in the pack. Scott Burnworth on the Suzuki gets the whole shot. He's out in front. And it's Clint Hardick. Clint Hardick in 2nd, number 51. And moving up into 2nd, or challenging Hardick, is the number 1 plate of Johnny O'Mara, the white number 1 plate on the Honda. Johnny O, the defending Supercross champion. And right behind him, number 4, Brock Glover. A great battle of superstars of motocross, challenging the Supercross Stadium here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. That's Johnny O'Mara, Clint Hardick, and Brock Glover. Watch Glover now to the inside make his move. Glover flies into 2nd place. And now challenging Scott Burnworth. Glover wants the lead. And he wants this overall championship. Winning the first moto, he wants the 2nd moto win. He's not going to settle for anything less. And he's got to pass Scott Burnworth. Can he? The battle in the pack now. Johnny O'Mara, Clint Hardick, Ricky Johnson's moving up. Who says you can't pass on a Supercross track? Now watch this. Watch Glover. Totally tenacious as he comes into this turn. Takes the inside. But watch the power, the traction Burnworth gets, and he regains the lead. Great action. Glover's not giving up. Glover catches him again, takes the inside. Is that it for Burnworth? No, it isn't. Burnworth is hanging on. Glover still wants that lead. He is going all out just for that first place. And look, the pack is still within striking distance as Ricky Johnson has moved from 7th all the way up to what looks like 4th place now. Johnson's in 4th, challenging Johnny O'Mara on the number 1 white plate. And O'Mara now is caught up to Burnworth. A phenomenal race here at San Diego. There's Brock Glover now. It looks like he's in for a victory. And Ricky Johnson riding wild. Has moving halfway through the race. Ricky Johnson now has caught Burnworth. Now up into 2nd place. Ricky Johnson going all out, says, I want the win. Johnson tries the inside. Glover knows that Johnson's right on his tail. 2 teammates, Yamaha riders, Ricky Johnson and Brock Glover, both from El Cajon, California. The crowd is going nuts. Swapping it sideways through the whoops. Ricky Johnson not letting off one bit. Can Glover hold off Johnson? All Glover has to do is stay right ahead of Johnny O'Mara for the overall win. But right now, Glover's riding all out, trying to handle Ricky Johnson. Ricky Johnson riding WFO. He wants the win. Johnson flying sideways over that finish line, making himself known. Glover knows there's a lot of pressure, and they're pulling away from the pack now. Johnson now through the whoops. He's a specialist in the whoops. Tries a different line. And Glover's pit crew is saying, you are being pressured. Faster. Through some more whoops. Johnson tries the inside. Doesn't make it. Now Johnson. One more time on the inside. He's getting closer. He's trying to figure out where can he pass Brock Glover. Possibly through the whoops here. Glover moves out to the far side. Johnson to the inside. He makes himself known, trying to dive underneath him. Shifting in midair. Watch this section of the track. Ricky Johnson just about lands on Brock Glover, takes over the lead. Now RJ on the way home for the checkered flag. Brock Glover here. He goes off the course. Ricky Johnson crossed the finish line first. Here comes Johnny O'Mara, hands up in the air. 2nd place finish right ahead of Brock Glover, who just made one mistake. Glover now, where's he? And he crosses the finish line, totally disgusted with himself. Johnny O with 2 seconds of 1st place overall in San Diego. 3rd place overall, Ricky Johnson, and his thoughts on tonight's racing.
Well, I'm a little unpleased with my first moto finish. I came in 5th. I was riding good, but Ron Lachine had his way with me coming out of the gate. He turned right into me, so that put me pretty much, I think I was in 17th place in the first lap, and I had to work my way back up. So, but the second moto, I guess I did okay. You know, I got off to about a 7th or 8th place start and worked my way up to win in the second moto, so I'm really happy with that. But everything turned out well.
Did you think you were going to win it? Well, I knew I had to pass Brock, you know, if I was going to have a chance to win it. And the way it looked, I thought I was going to have to settle for 2nd overall because Brock was riding good, but he had that little misfortune there about 3 or 4 turns in the end, and he went off the track, and I just capitalized on it, and you know, I took the win. How'd the bike work?
The bike worked really good. I was really happy with it, and we've been testing a lot, getting it working really good, and seemed to work really good tonight. We were pleased.
Brock, you did well in the first moto. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the first moto went really, you know, like you said, well for me at the finish, especially. I pushed real hard to try to beat Jeff Ward, and I kept trying to put pressure on him, and finally it worked. But, you know, Jeff rode really well, and he just made a mistake similar to the one I made in the last lap in the second moto, and I had the overall wrapped up, and I don't know what it was. I guess I just wasn't settling for second. I should have settled for second and won the overall, but I screwed up and went for it, and it's very fortunate to even get a 3rd place that I did and end up 2nd overall.
And there's the man that did settle for 2nd. In fact, in both main motos, Johnny O'Mara to your left, Team Honda, a 2nd in the 1st and a 2nd in the 2nd main motos. Brock Glover in the center, a 1st and a 3rd equals 2nd overall. And Ricky Johnson, a 5th in the 1st moto, a 1st in the 2nd. There he is, Johnny O'Mara, winning the 1985 San Diego Supercross Championship.